What's up, everybody? It's time for yet another one of my pro game champion commentaries. This time I'm gonna be following around WingsofDeathx as he plays Rengar, and the reason for this is that well, first off, WingsofDeathx is I think a top rating of about 2500 something elo, so very good player. He's been on a couple of teams. Honestly, I can't remember if he's playing for Team TD or not in MLG Dallas. I don't know if that's true. I don't really know much about players and what teams they're on because I always forget that stuff. But in any case, the second reason is that after the nerfs to Rengar, I want to see how strong he still is, and if the sustained nerfs to the top lane and the nerfs to his Q damage are going to change the playstyle of these players. And from what I can tell, it looks like their team's actually going to be coming in here and looking to do some kind of really sneaky jungle gank. If someone comes around from either side here, they won't see them until they've gotten right up to this edge, and they could possibly get eaten alive. But it looks like red team's actually going to be going for a red beginning, so that's just going to be an easy kill of the wolves and blue buff for them. It looks like the Lux actually gave away their position by running around to the left side, but I don't think she really cares too much. She's just like, screw it, I'm going to go back to the mid, and there's nothing they can do to stop us anyways, and they're not going to plan on stopping us. So she's like, whatever, I'm going to be going over here, and he knows that his blue buff is stolen, so they are going to most likely have the option of coming over here and taking the blue team's blue buff if he decides to do that. No, he's actually just going to run over here anyways, even though he knows that his stuff is gone, and try and do that. But anyways, I'm going to focus most of this game by watching WingsofDeathx on Rengar, and let's see what he does. He actually took his Boulder Strike at level 1, and I imagine one reason for that was due to the fact that he wanted to try and catch somebody in a level 1 engagement there. I don't know if that's 100% correct or not, because I know that a lot of people will just wait to take that ability. But he potentially took that so that he can catch someone. So that's what I'm going to go with, and he's able to use that to kind of do some ranged harass onto Mazzino, who, by the way, if you watched my last game, was playing as the Nidalee, I think, actually. And Naruma was the... Actually, I don't remember who was who. But anyways, already a first blood, Naruma getting that on the bottom. But WingsofDeathx here trying his best to go ahead and trade some damage onto the Lee Sin. It looked like he was actually going to lose that trade, but he got his full stack enraged Q, and that pretty much evened things up for him there. And Mazzino's going to do his best as Lee Sin to just kind of come back here with a little bit of... you know, he's basically got his health potions, and Lee Sin has that passive life steal from doing attacks after using his abilities. At least I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Yeah. It's on his, like, W, I think. But anyways, yeah, you'd think I would know that, but I don't play a lot of Lee Sin. In fact, I can't remember the last time I played Lee Sin. It was probably, like, back when he was first released. That's literally the last time. And I played him, like, one other time, and I didn't read his abilities, and I sucked. So, there you go. And, oh, wow, that was actually really fast play. I want to watch that again. So, looks like Lee Sin came in here to do a little bit of harass onto Wings with his Q, and it looks like he landed that. Where is it at? Where's he landed it? So he lands a Q. Look, okay, he lands that Q. Look how fast WingsofDeathx responds to this. So he jumps in and he's waiting for it. Poof! That fast. He actually uses 2 attacks on him and actually returns more poke than he took by using his W to heal himself back up, and then runs up and gets another attack. So he's being very efficient with his attacks here. He's getting off every single chance he gets. He's getting off an attack onto Mazzino and making that really possible. There he goes. Once again, he could have actually used a Q there to do a little bit of extra damage to Mazzino, but instead he used his W because he's like, well, I want to get my health back, and W does pretty decent damage early on anyway, so that was not bad at all. Oh, it looks like we have WingsofDeathx actually playing on Trundle, a little bit of a different champion than people usually play. It's he's always been a really strong champion, I'll be honest. Like, Trundle's a really good champion, but people just don't play him, and it looks like WingsofDeathx knows this, and he was able to make a little bit of short work of that Jarvan by catching him there in the jungle. WingsofDeathx actually going to be benefiting from this as he now has the red buff, and he's going to shove that out. Mazzino is going to be able to easily farm this out, so I imagine that Wings will probably go back and go to the base. Or they could dive this. Looks like WingsofDeathx knows this. They have 2 red buffs here, and they're going to go ahead and take him down right now, and they're just waiting for everyone to get in range. And so he's going to go for the kill there, using his flash and ignite to get in range there. Mizzino goes down to Wings of Death with that ignite, and WingsofDeathx might be staying a little bit... Okay, I was like, is he going to try and 1v1 dive this Deathmonger guy? That's probably not smart, as he's, you know, Jarvan's not weak. So he's being kind of crazy right here. Time to troll, I suppose. He needs to be a little bit safer than that, but he doesn't care. WingsofDeathx, man mode. Oh, and he made the mistake of running into the turret, gets knocked up, and takes a few turret hits. He's going to be exhausted now. Pretty bad situation, as he could lose this double buff. And, oh my god, one last poke. Does he have enough? And there's the cooldown on his flag to take him down. And wow, his red buff actually just ended. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. So, back to Rengar here. Let's see what we are left. Whoa, what is this? Maxing Bola Strike first, huh? So that is definitely a new playstyle that I have not heard of. So let me go ahead and talk about Runes and Masteries on this guy, if I get a chance to. So I just pulled up on LOL King. He's actually running flat armor, flat magic resist. He's running move speed quintessences, and then flat damage marks. So pretty standard, I'd say. That's you know, I wouldn't necessarily always expect the move speed, but for Rengar it makes sense because, you know, you're melee, you want to catch up and catch people and kill them. So so there's the runes, and then for his masteries, he's actually got a really weird setup, something I've never seen, and it's his AD carry page, which I don't know, I would have never expected this, but he actually only has 19 in offense. He takes everything up to the very last point. He doesn't take the last point. And then he takes 4 into defense, 2 into the armor, and then 2 into the reduced damage from minions. And I imagine so that way he can actually try and win those engages where the health is extremely low and the minions are attacking you. And then for utility, he's got 7 points in there, getting the increased mana regen, and then a point into flash. And he's going to go ahead and jump onto Mizzino there, using this passive, locks him down with the Bola Strike, and he's going to continue attacking here, trying to get some work happening, using his ultimate to go ahead and get a few stacks up there. And he's going to have enough to try and take him down, but it's not enough damage. Since he maxed that Bola Strike, it just wasn't enough. And in fact, gives Mizzino the kill. Damn, my damage sucks, he says. So, yeah, I thought that was kind of odd that he... And I don't know if this was necessarily, like... I don't know if this is the right thing. Okay, I guess maybe Bola Strike has a lot of base damage, and these other abilities have more scaling. So he's just like, okay, Q has enough scaling that I'm going to go ahead and rely on the scaling on Q. And I'm going to start to use the Bola Strike's damage to take people down. And I guess he figures like, well, I'm going to use Bola Strike to in savagery form, or whatever it's called, enraged form, in order to lock people down. So I might as well go ahead and upgrade that to get the extra damage from the enraged. So I don't know. That's my assumption. I don't know if that's the exact reasoning behind it, but it does make sense if you put it that way. So let's go ahead and speed this back up after I click on him a little bit. And as far as items, he's actually going for a Phage first. And I don't know if this is going to be turned into like a Trinity, or if that's a Frozen Mallet build, or what exactly he's going for with that particular setup instead of going for, you know, straight AD. But I imagine it has to do with the fact that he is playing against a Lee Sin, and he has to deal with Lee Sin being very speedy and able to get away, and he wants to slow him down as much as possible and lock him down. Right now he doesn't see... Okay, so he just noticed a ward being placed down by that Lee Sin. Lee Sin has an extra one actually in place there as well. And Mizzino not winning out on this trade at all. Wings of Death actually deciding, okay, what the heck, I'm going to use my passive. I know that Mizzino's going to run away there into the bush, so I can get a little bit of extra poke off before I run back. I know he's not going to dive here, obviously, so yes, he does back off. And another ward being placed down for Mizzino. Actually, let's see, what is the life on that? Actually, that is an old ward that he had placed down. WingsofDeathx. Now, every chance he gets, he goes in there, puts a little bit of poke. He's obviously not going to be able to take down the Lee Sin, but it's enough damage to not allow Lee Sin to gain that lifesteal back, or to get the lead on poking him down himself. And he's playing very brave here. He knows, I guess, with that ward and his ultimate, that he can escape if Jarvan decides to actually come in there for a gank himself. WingsofDeathx using his Bola Strike to do a little bit of ranged harass. Since he did max that first, it is quite deadly actually right now. So let's see, when it's maxed out, it does even more damage, yeah, up to like 200 and something. Wait, is that the same? Yeah, actually that's the same. It doesn't actually change whenever it gets into, it just does the binding net, I guess. So So I wasn't really sure. Rengar is not a champion that I play either. I just know that he was really popular for a while, and I was like, screw it, I don't care. He's always banned. So I never really got a chance to practice him or try him out that much. And he was not really my play style. But I know a lot of people have requested that I make like a Rengar video, and I don't really plan on making a Rengar guide. But you know, I guess it's worthy of watching a pro player playing him and see kind of their play style on this. Definitely not anything I would have ever expected to see though with a bullet strike be a max first. And I don't know if this is like a new idea or a new strategy. I know that people used to max like W first, and then that was like a pretty strong way to do it as well. I'm also curious as to why he hasn't built a bone tooth necklace yet. Guessing that he'll get that as his next item, I want to say, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. Possibly waiting to get that until he starts to go into team fights, potentially. He's actually using that W, I think. No, that wasn't the W. He actually used the second Q, I believe. It's really hard to see which enraged attack Rengar uses, but I imagine he's just kind of focusing on the situation ahead. Oh, he has to be careful. He's going to get knocked off there. WingsofDeathx in a really bad situation there, getting knocked back. What a great combination there, and I don't know if he can actually escape this at this point. The reduced timer on the ultimate is still enough for him to make it out safely with that increased move speed. That's just unfortunate. Man, that was such a nice gank, though, and I don't think that could have gone much better for them, to be perfectly honest. I mean, obviously they could have got the kill, but I'm saying, like, any other champion probably would have been taken down from that kill, but Rengar, he said, nope, I'm going stealth, and I'm getting the heck out of there. So, not bad at all. In fact, he's going to go for a Vamp Scepter and 2 wards, rather than going for a Bone Tooth. Very interesting. This is like completely backwards of anything I would expect to see from Rengar. So this is like, I don't know. Maybe if anyone else out there plays Rengar, they understand this. I don't though. I don't understand it, because I don't see, like, whenever I saw Rengar's playing against me, it was always like Brutalizer and a bunch of just straight AD items, and then he would just 100 to nothing me and my team, you know, basically. So this is a little bit more of like a tanky setup for him. I don't know if he's planning on going for a Wriggles or something like that with his Vamp Scepter, so that he can have that sustain and just be like a tanky threat and let the rest of his team do all the damage, because he does. But I don't know, then again, he does have WingsofDeathx, who's super tanky as well. Trundle, just one of those champions that can steal the tankiness off of other champions. WingsofDeathx trying to trade some harass here. He's actually not really getting ahead on the damage here just yet, but they are kind of keeping it even for the most part. So it seems that Lee Sin himself is, you know, fairly difficult for a Rengar to get the lead on. And now with that W Savage bonus, he's actually able to heal himself back up, and that's going to give him the trade, or the lead in trades here. And he's just slowly getting ahead of Lee Sin. But I don't know, I think that if Lee Sin just full on engage, he might be stronger. Because, I don't know, Lee Sin just has that ability to be really strong. But then again, I could be wrong. It looks like he's actually losing out on this one. He's slowly going behind in health, and he's not able to heal up as much as WingsofDeathx is from that giant percentage damage, or percentage health heal. So yeah, I don't know. I take it back. I guess Lee Sin just is not as strong face up with a Rengar. Let's go ahead and speed that up for them to get back to the lane. And this is so far a fairly slow lane. No one's really getting low enough to actually die here, but WingsofDeathx is doing his best to keep that poke up and hold that Lee Sin down to low health. And that shield is strong, but is it enough to keep the lead? WingsofDeathx actually now getting below. It's like so back and forth. It's like, who's gonna come out ahead of this particular trade? And I think after this last health potion goes down, Wings is going to have to be kind of careful. Mazzino getting really powerful here. If he gets back to full health and WingsofDeathx doesn't do something about that, then he's actually going to be able to force him out of the lane. Of course, now that he is back to the turret, he should be able to safely farm this up at this point. You know, I did actually read some comments in my in some of my videos or my podcast where people are saying they wanted me to bring back the 1v1s. I don't actually plan on bringing back 1v1s because a lot of people don't really see that as like see any point. Like good people don't see any point in doing 1v1s. But I think this is probably the next best thing. Oh, that was nice. He actually got the Q off, so he saw WingsofDeathx in stealth and was able to catch him regardless of the fact that he went into stealth. And that was a really nice gank from that Taric. He had no idea that Taric was actually coming in there from the bush, and that was a nice play overall. I actually thought that Wings had bought that second sight ward so that he can avoid those, but in fact he was trying to just stay in the lane for literally 2 wards worth of time period and not get ganked from the jungle. But he both times has been ganked from this bush here, so I feel like he should have actually placed a ward in the lane bush to stop himself from getting lane ganked like that, and that would have been a lot more powerful than trying to just save that ward for the river, since from the river he's not necessarily in as much of a threat. I don't know. That just seems like it would work out. You don't really see people, top laners, putting wards in that top bush, and that's why lane ganking in top lane is so powerful. Mazino's actually going to go ahead and win this one out and be able to take down that turret after those really nice ganks. That's 2 in a row that have actually shoved him back and caused him to be a little bit behind here. So WingsofDeathx still in the lane. He's not scared of Mazino here. He doesn't even have his ultimate, and he's not worried about it either. So he's just going to go ahead, and now that he has no creeps here, he needs to be careful. He's taking a lot of hits from these creeps, but at the same time, he's actually kind of winning out on this trade onto Mazino. Mazino has to pop out his ultimate to try and kick him back, and he's like, screw that. So seems like Rengar, now that he has bought his Zeal, and he will be going for that Trinity Force. So yes, I was actually right when I said, okay, I don't know if he's going Trinity or Frozen Mallet, and it looks like Trinity will be the build of choice for Wings here. He's going to be using that to get a lot of extra attack speed and crit damage right now onto this Lee Sin, and it seems to be working out quite nicely, especially with the synergy of that Vamp Scepter to help him kind of lifesteal up along with his W lifesteal. And Mazino trying his best to just farm down these creeps as much as he can. There is no threat from what I can tell. Oh, yeah, there is. So now he's going to have to be careful. I think Mazino's actually baiting this one in, as WingsofDeathx does not have his ultimate up until 18 more seconds, so he's going to be in a bad situation. And with Mazino having that shield, can he stay alive just a little bit longer? Nice exhaust going to go down, going to make it so that Wings cannot actually do enough damage to finish him off. That is unfortunate. And even if he was doing even better, Penguin came up as well to try and finish that off. So he's getting camped so hard, and this is the thing I hate about top lane, is you can be doing really well like one-on-one, but there is so much, like, there's so much gank potential, and like it's so easy to get behind because of the jungler, and it really is up to the jungler. Like, top lane is more about the jungler in my opinion than it is about the top lane player. Now obviously sometimes that's not true, but that's just the thing about it, is that top lane is just so snowbally, and a lot of champions that play up there are just like dick champions that can really take advantage of being ahead of you like that. But that being said, I do have to say that, you know, with Lee Sin having all of this assistance from his team, he's still not doing necessarily that good against WingsofDeathx one-on-one. He's not able to actually push an advantage. And now that Wings has built a chain vest, that's going to help him so much more against not only Lee Sin, but the person ganking him, which is Jarvan here. He's going to be able to avoid so much more damage, or just, I guess, mitigate so much more damage, not really avoid. He's not dodging it. He's just stopping it from hurting his bed. WingsofDeathx going to go ahead and shove down that wave as fast as possible. I know he wants to shove this out and probably regroup with the team and try and do some action here. Their team is actually very far ahead, and I'm guessing that has to do with the fact that they've got these 2 turrets down right there, and they're trying to even that back up. But I haven't seen the dragons. Like I said, I've been watching WingsofDeathx. He has not been really worrying too much about these dragons. He's worrying more about just farming up as much as possible and trying to win the lane against this Lee Sin. Of course, with the ganks, though, it has not been so easy for him, but he might be able to take this down. Rengar is such a great tower-pushing champion with that Q, and I don't think he cares right now about dying. He's just going to take down the turret. He's like, screw you, dude. And he's going to take that down and try and use his ultimate to get away, possibly. And there it is. Can he make it away? There's not much time left on his ulti, but they do not predict him to run this direction, so they go ahead and let him just run on out of there. And that is the one thing that is strong about Rengar that they tried to actually nerf with this latest patch, was the fact that he can shove down that turret and then just ultimate to escape and run away. So doesn't seem like they really stopped that from happening. He still has enough move speed, and the stealth is still long enough for him to get away safely. Even with Jarvan locking him down and Taric stunning him, he was still able to sit there and take down the turret and get away. So I guess that kind of answers my question about, is Rengar still just as strong, and is his sustain still viable? In this particular case, he's able to out-sustain a Lee Sin, and that is probably one of the strongest or stronger lanes for basically like sustaining and fighting you one-on-one like that. So so I'd say Rengar hasn't really been like completely dominating top lane, but he is staying alive and doing well regardless of gank. So I'd say maybe they didn't completely nerf him out, but they balanced him out quite nicely, because I think before he had a lot more damage, because I know they nerfed some of his damage and his sustain a little bit more. So potentially in the last patch he would have been just completely wrecking this Lee Sin, but right now he's just basically staying on even footing with him. So pretty good to see that overall. And from what I can tell, it looks like he is not going to be too close to his Trinity just yet. He needs just a few hundred gold, but that's not too far away. A nice job from Muffin Cutie on the other side over here, landing a couple of plants, and actually just literally like sticking him right into the wall there. Penguin grabs a kill onto the Twitch, and Rengar continues to shove this top lane, and Wings is just taking advantage of the strength of his champion, which is once again being able to shove down those turrets and get away safely. And in the meantime, they win a 4v whatever it was, 4v4, 4v5 at the turret here, and take down the turret themselves. And Tarek, the only one here, able to really come up and respond to Wings of Death. But now that Mazzino is in place, oh wow, what a nice prediction! He saw, oh man, he just knew that he was there. But I mean, it doesn't matter. He's not going to get the kill, obviously. It was just hilarious that he actually predicted that Wings would actually run to the north like that. Unless he still had vision of him from the W, I'm not sure. I honestly don't. I think he might have actually had vision of him. That's probably why he hit that. But if he didn't, then that's pretty sick. Nice there. Seems like blue team is doing a really good job on the rest of the map, and WingsofDeathx, now that he's kind of shoved down that top lane, can start to regroup with them and just start to kind of escalate that advantage even further. Twitch completely dominating. Look at this. Infinity Edge and Phantom Dancer's got 8 kills, 2 deaths already. Farm is just amazing in comparison. Yeah, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous, I must say. Good sir. And right now, let's see, WingsofDeathx does have his Trinity Force up. He's got that Chain Vest, going to be going for that GA very soon, so we can jump in there, do a ton of damage, and possibly even get away with his ultimate. And if not, then he's just going to die and then revive himself. And they're going to have to deal with the rest of the team, all the while he's still going to be doing all that damage. And those low cooldowns are great on him. Come on. All right, let's go ahead and speed this up until we see some action. He's just going to farm it up a little bit until the next engage happens. So he's going to try and shove this out, I imagine, and maybe even go for the turret, but he might just regroup. Okay, it looks like they're going to be going for the Baron here, and they don't have a ton of vision. They've got a little bit of vision. They know if someone's going to be coming around the corner here, and they can potentially turn this around onto the Tarek. They have a ward right there, so they saw him coming in. Nice job from Muffin Cutie. Going to go ahead and throw down the plants to try and stop that from happening. And it seems like the enemy carrier there is going to stop them as much as he can, but it's not enough to really steal the buff from them just yet. And there it is. They took the Nashor, and Lux was just making sure that it happened by using her own ultimate. Trevor wasn't able to ulti over the wall to stop them himself. So they get away with that one quite easily. No one could really stop that from happening. Then 2DX is going to jump and force a flash off of Penguin. So they are in a really good position right now at about, holy crap, 12,000 gold lead at only 23 minutes and that Baron buff. So this team is looking really, really far behind. WingsofDeathx not going to have a lot of trouble doing work at this point, even though he was ganked so much and they did a really good job top lane. It's just a bot got destroyed so much, and Wings really is just going to reap the advantages of that. And Exhaust goes down on him to keep him from getting the kill, but nice job using that ultimate to jump on him right before using that flag jump. And, oh, he actually missed. But I don't know. I'm not sure if Rengar would have actually picked up the kill or not, if he had landed that or not. So that's kind of a iffy or risky, whatever, saying. And Wing's going to run in here, look for some opportunities to strike, but it looks like he got focused down by the turret, so he's like, ah, never mind. He backs right off. And 2DX, not really worried about Morgana's damage at this point. Kind of curious though, he's got kind of like a support build set up here from the jungle. He went for a Zeke's Herald, so kind of a nice setup. He's got a support item for the whole team, and then he's like, okay, well, Zyra is going to be going for that Shrelis. She's probably going to be trying to go for more AP, but there's the surrender vote, and that is GG. And there we go. We didn't really see like a big snowball game from Rengar, but we did see that he's still viable. He's able to hold his own despite being completely jerked around by not only is Lee Sin a hard lane to lane against, but you've got the Jarvan coming in there and ganking constantly, and then even Penguin, and even Grand Troll came to the top lane and ganked him. So despite being ganked constantly, he's still able to hold his own. I'd say Rengar, still a good champion. Probably a little bit of a different build than I've ever seen before being used on him, and I'm not sure if other players do the same thing or not. I might actually have to watch some more games of Rengar to just confirm that that is what people are doing on him, but either way, it's definitely an interesting thing to check out. So thanks WingsofDeathx for this game. Nice job overall, and thank you guys for watching my video. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed this. I'll see you around for the next one. Peace out.